Guffanti Group Partners, Tectoo Architecture Studio, NAT Office Rifugio e Connessione, Angry Architects, Transforming Spaces into Destinations, and I would, actually we are gonna talk about two different topics, and so with respect to the second topic that we are gonna touch, I would also like to invite on the stage Studio AD2, SAUD Architetti, thank you. And actually, I mean, you need to know that this is a self-managed roundtable, so you won't have any moderator, so you just have to, introduce the topics by yourself. And the two topics that we are going to talk about are understanding the psychology of space in hospitality architecture, and this is in Italian and not that easy to translate. It's undefinedness as generosity. Indeterminateness as generosity.
Sì. This is mine. Allora, nice to meet you to all. I am Cristian Gasparini, the founder and director of NAT Office, that is an Italian studio that is based in Reggio Emilia and Milan. For this meeting, for this roundtable and conference, I tried to present a contribution related to the idea, the typological idea of the residential space nowadays, in our day. So if we imagine to return in the past, Jean-Nicolas Louis Durand wrote that distributing, I have to read, sorry, is the art of combining the different parts comprising a building, art d'arranger in French, in accordance with the custom of each moment, with the ladder being the key point. And until the 19th century, floor plans with corridors transformed the privacy and the enclosure of household activity into a dark, restricted way of life. This is the problem on which we are facing today. Indiscriminate physical contact was eschewed with corridors, establishing intermediate spaces for neutral relationship. In our era, instead, the concepts such as open space system and uncertainty, embedded with the scientific ideas of relativity and quantum theory, have taken our social science and the arts, shaking the structure of society, and the consequence of which is that the artifact produced by the society. So if we have in the past this idea of the passages of the collective houses, in the modern era we try to define with the years of scarce material and resources that led to the minimum dwellings, a new way of imagining the houses that is related to the idea and theory of Le Corbusier. Currently, when identity, gender, equality and sustainability form parts of the theoretical discourse, dwellings are required with question the whole hierarchies, affinities and privacy. Hence, the matrix of connected rooms become both a model to eschew modernism precept and the best approach to managing environmental and social strategies. So you may see that there are some examples of projects of these years, of 2021, for example, Far Atelier, in which there is this idea of the corridor that was put in antagonism with the Baroque palaces enfilade. There are some articles made of Robin Evans, for example, that showed us, he said this in the 1970s, so in a period in which the modernism was at the top. He said that the challenge that introduced inside the 16th century housing by the floor panel with corridors had as its main aim the suppression of physical contact between people to achieve greater privacy and separated function. And the invention of corridor was a step backwards regarding the potential sensuality of the rooms connected in enfilade in Baroque palaces. Here later, modernism was to again reduce the appeal of collective housing in two ways, by collectivizing intimate relationship in social condenser and by separating function in frictionless living. The matrix of connected rooms, according to Robin Evans' interpretation, identified the floor plan as an indeterminate dwelling with a type of society led by carnality, he said, which associate the body with the person and where gregariousness is something normal. By suppressing the corridor and giving prime importance to the room, friction and contact are encouraged and there are no intermediate buffer spaces to protect the privacy of the most intimate spaces. Ultimately, these foster a pleasant friction between residents. This is a project that we did in Reggio Emilia and that won the prize for the best heritage intervention in Italy in 2018, in which we imagine the target was that we have to build or renew and recover all these existent building to be, because it has to become an house but even an headquarter. So in the same time, the spaces of these ancient palaces, ancient barn and countryside house has to become an office, but even 2 or 3 years after an house. And so we manage with this idea of this indeterminacy that can give us the opportunity to define a strategy for which we can imagine through a grid, through a matrix, to have the possibility to change the spaces inside the houses, the dimension, and even their function in time. And this is really important because many examples of collective houses built in recent years coincide in a specific approach towards indeterminacy, and the result point is to valuing a cell or a neutral room as the form generation within an isotropic matrix, as you can see there. This is a project of Paris Toral in Spain. The kitchen is valued as a space for meeting and socializing rather than such a corner for cooking. Double orientation is a common truth. Passages vanishes as do access corridor. Even stairs are sized as a room. The atypical layout of the perpendicular or parallel to facade enfilade is reclaimed. You may see here the two different configurations of the house, of these spaces in relation to the program of the offices or of the house, and so the possibility to use them in two different ways, even if the spaces are the same. Indeterminacy goes against the specialization of space. Any activity should be possible in any space. Charles Sims reflects on this in his article, What is a House? You may see the main image in the page that is of Charles Sims, by outlining the unexpected activities that he would like to carry out in a house. So you can play music, dancing, playing cowboys and Indians, everything. And so you have to manage to have this possibility too. In the house of connected rooms, there has been a clear demolition of modernist principles. Down with the open plan, down with the pillar structure, down with the ribbon windows, on with the facade released from the structure, down with the dwelling as a machine for living. And all these things obviously are in antagonism directly with the Maison Domino and the Saint-Pont de l'Architecture Nouvelle di Le Corbusier. With indeterminacy, the ordinary character, timelessness, the neutral facade, and open collective spaces are reclaimed in addition to the maximum oversizing permitted by building regulation and budget in collective housing. This is another application of the principle in a single house in which we try to imagine that there will be not corridor and no passages through the spaces. So the idea is that the indeterminacy gives us the possibility to imagine a lot of configuration in relation to the living spaces, and may give us the opportunity to change them even in time. This is a project in Brazil on which we are still working, that is imagined in the same way. So all the spaces related to the room of this Hotel Posada are connected one each other and can be changed and expanded even in time. And the only passages are terraces, for example, in this case. This instead is the most important example nowadays of this idea of the indeterminacy of the floor plan that is very sectoral, the Cornella housing that probably you may know because are published in many review and magazine. And this is one of the last projects that we did in which we worked on the same idea, but using that inside a single villa in this case. So the idea is that this principle can be managed and used not only for the collective houses, but even for the single houses or family houses or villas. I have finished. Sì. Se volete parliamo, non so. Generale.
Colgo l'occasione per fare una domanda. Mi sembra che siete tutti studi di progettazione per lo più. Allora, visto che il tema ed è sulla sostenibilità, allora la domanda che vi porrei è come, insomma, nei vostri progetti tenete conto della sostenibilità, e soprattutto io sono uno strutturista, quindi mi occupo di altro. Però quanto secondo voi, insomma, la struttura potrebbe intervenire anche in discorsi di sostenibilità? Molto spesso si parla di sostenibilità, ma si continua a usare, insomma, il cemento armato in maniera massiccia, poi si cerca di sostenere su altri fatti. Quando poi, insomma, dopo un evento sismico, ad esempio, le strutture in cemento armato creano problemi enormi per quanto riguarda poi insomma, sono strutture che non si danneggiano molto rispetto ad altre soluzioni strutturali. Allora la domanda che vi porrei, insomma, la curiosità che ho io di sapere da chi progetta, quanto nei progetti interviene oggi, diciamo, il concetto della sostenibilità proprio a 360 gradi.
I switch back to English, so he was asking how no, vuole risposta? No? Okay. how the sustainability can be integrated into our design. And well, in order to answer to this question, I think sustainability should recover its approach at first into the design, so not just as something that comes out later on, because we have to do that, because we have to respond to the sustainability codes that we required everywhere around the world. We work a lot in Italy, as we know. Rules on sustainability are more and more required and more strict. I think history of architecture has shown how sustainability was managed in every country, and every country had its own way of approach in a sustainable way their construction fields and the construction requirements. We should recover something from that, and what we do in our design is to still think really about lighting condition, environmental condition, orientation of the building, so everything that respond to the site at first, and then to implement sustainability into architecture with the materials and with the MEPs. So it's not something that should come out later on, but should be implemented at the first stages as an answer. So that's my opinion. I don't know if it replies to that.
If I can, I have a little presentation, and it explains about sustainability in a different way to approach. Okay. Puoi mandare? You can? Yes. Okay. We want to speak about sustainability in a lot of ways to think about it. So, from megatrend to technology now, because this morning we listened about presentation of plans and how building design make grow up and create a different culture of make building and project building and construct building. Oh, I go away. We are into thinking that we are now 8 billion of people in the world, and it grow up not so much as we grow up in the last 15 years, but we grow up more. And how many people of the world are in the city? So sustainability, we have to think not only about building sustainability. Building sustainability, I think that we develop a design that now, yes, we can use different kind of power. We can use very energy efficient building. But we have to think in sustainability in a different way. Maybe using technology. I don't know if you watch if you visit the Museum of the Future here in Dubai. I don't know if you've been there. If not, go. I suggest you to go, because especially the 2 or 3 room in the start are very interesting. And so this year I do 2 Museum of the Future, one in Berlin that opened last year, and now in Dubai. So I make I find some different, but it's very interesting. Because I told you about this because the main, a lot of people, main people from the world live in the city, live in megalopoli, mega. We start from big to mega now. And the people that come from country and go to and urbanization is a phenomenon. It is a very new migration phenomenon. In this year we watch it. So not only people that come from a region, from the area of the world to the other area, but from the countryside to the city. And if we imagine a lot of a million of people, every one of you, I think that you have in the eyes the imagine of the construction in Russia and construction in China, that they don't use it. They build a lot. It's 1 month ago, the main construction from China closed. And in exchange, in the World Global Exchange, fall down. So It's a problem that we have to solve with sustainability. Sustainability in architecture means to think about the future. We need to think about the future, so we don't only build a building, sorry for the words, that use good engineering, good empowering, but especially transformation. And so the maximum flexibility that we can use, flexibility in structure, flexibility in system, flexibility also in visitors, in useful people that use building. They change a lot in time, change more quickly than later, than in the past. This is some city, London, in the early 19th century, 20th century. This is Kuala Lumpur, it's impressive. This is Sydney, this is Istanbul. Of course, it changed. If we have historical city, it changed less. It seems that changed less, but people growing. Singapore, Shenzhen, Toronto, Shanghai. Here, we are here. We are right here now in Dubai, and how much it grow up more. So, BlackRock, so not Manuela Guffanti, but BlackRock, the main investor in US, focus on investment and explain why they invest in megatrend. So they don't invest only in building, but they invest in trends. And trends now are building, connecting building. We will speak about responsive architecture. So responsive is a mix of sustainability, empowering environment. Every one of us must be count on ESG company. So company must certificate with ESG. ESG is not only environment, but it's social, it's government, and it is the new trends. How can we build it? I think that we build it with technology, not only separate system, but a very integrated system. And of course, the main thing that we see in residential and healthcare building, because they are maybe the more technological building where we can improve it. Senior house, social house, and how build can connect and can link more to have success in the future, to connect very well the technological system with who? With building, not only with person, directly. So building will be a skin that go inside person, and the new inside person technology can dialogue with the new building. So this is the new responsive architecture. This is a challenge. All of us become like here. And so we focus on, this is our way to speak about responsive architecture. Maybe we can speak more tomorrow in the afternoon. But high quality with integrated design and purpose, BIM of course, but it's only an instrument, it's not the aim, it's not the focus on. Big data, IoT, smart building, not only intelligent building. Intelligence is a concept from 80 maybe or before, but smart and with IoT, Internet of Things. Maintenance and environment, I answered to the colleague. So the new challenge is maintenance, as told the colleague before. We can in Europe we used to speak with the past. We speak a lot, but here in Dubai, how many years we need to speak about it? I think not too much. If you watch the building around us, renovation, very sustainable, they are building, but they are alone. They are not linked, they are not connected. So maybe a refunctional of them must be next year. And imagination, of course, from Leonardo, man, to I think that we will witness a new renaissance in the next year. Okay, I speak about it more personal, so imagine of sustainability. Thank you for the question.
I want to say something in relation to the sustainability, the structural sustainability. I think that nowadays it is really difficult to imagine to continue to build by concrete, no? Because it's really heavy, really expensive, and mainly is unchangeable. Or to destroy something that is made by concrete after, you have to pay another amount of money terrible, and in the same time you have a lot of problem even from the point of view of the pollution, no? That this gives us. And so I think that the possibility now, but even in the example that I showed you that are in Spain are really they are trying to project themselves in the future, no? And so they are doing this collective housing all made by wood. Mainly the ground floor could be made of concrete, but the other part are made by wood, because you have the possibility even in time at least to dismantle the structure, no? To change it or not to destroy with the great enormous cost that you may have now with the concrete. The concrete was the material of the pioneer, and in that moment the world entirely was not so built, no? Nowadays I think it is really impossible to imagine to continue to build in the same way. Obviously there are some things that you can do nowadays with the wood, but probably with the study we can reach another level, I think.
Sul residenziale? Sul residenziale? Sì, direi che se non ci sono altre domande, if you don't have any questions, we can close and we can speak tomorrow.
We can ask to Francesca how they use in case if they did wood or concrete in the structure that they are projecting and planning, no? If they have some example of this, or in the project that you show with us, no? For example, for the hospital, I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay, special guest. I'm happy. I was happy to see in your presentation houses very near to my city, Modena. Okay, and you know we have structural sectors. We are using concrete. We are still using concrete for hospitals. In some cases, a mix of concrete and steel. We do not have a big experience in wood. We started some years ago, I think, with a school, I think in 2010. But we have never approached a high building or large building with wood. It is also a problem of cost, yes, not only of technology. Abroad, I am thinking about the New Zealand hospital in Denmark. It's most of the design is with concrete, yes. But there are the technology to try to mix both. I'm not sure that wood will be the real sustainable resource, but I am one, and I am not statistical important. Thank you.
No, on the wood aspect, actually, we are designing a school that is done in wood with a structure and floors all done in wood. I think it can be part of the answer. It won't be the only answer. Concrete, yes, it's an issue, but we can even work and progress on that in order to make it better. Wood is an opportunity. It does have some limitation, particularly on high-rise structure. I really trust we shouldn't force too much technologies that are not made for some sort of building, even though we can sort things out and produce something that still can answer to that project, even if it's not maybe the best option for that. But yeah, I think we need to progress on different things, particularly on structure. Structure is something that probably in terms of building material hasn't progressed as much because we are using concrete. I mean, we are Italian, and concrete, I think, is quite a well-known material in our history. But yeah, we can make it better. It's like moving on to green technologies. So electric is not just one; it's a part of an answer. So I think we can work on other things too.
Sorry, as I take the attention, but I want to just one consideration. It's not only, in my opinion, a problem of material, but is also a concept in design, because the actual tendency is to go to structure with don't have any damage after a civil earthquake, civil environmental accident. And in this, with this aim, it's important to design the structure together with the furniture, the panels, in order to allow to the after a severe earthquake, as an example, to don't have any damage also to the secondary element, because from a structural point of view, it's possible to design with dissipative devices the structure and not to have a damage in the structure. But the structural design has to be performed together with the architectural design. And in your activity, my question is, generally you design with the structural engineer, and I don't know if the interior design participate in the overall design of the building, or his work is after the design of the building.
Well, from a design point of view, we think that structure is part of the design. So we love to design things with the structural engineers, and we have done so in all our career. We come from, I mean, before starting our own company in 2015, we come from the history, I mean, as part of Renzo Piano building workshop. So the integration between structures, MEPs, and architecture has been always fundamental. And we are very skeptical on design that don't take into consideration the structure of the building as an opportunity of doing something that is rigorous as a geometry, and the fact that there is a structure is an opportunity to express how the building works rather than hide it or not to show how it looks, or being experimental, let's say, in just for the sake of being creative. No, we are really skeptical on creativity that doesn't really understand how things are made. We are not artists. I really doubt that. we are architects, that is something different. And the history of our culture in Italy, if we go back to Borromini, I mean, Borromini was an architect, was an artist, but was also a builder. So he knew how things were made and the way that things were expressed, and found their expression into architecture was not just, let's say, an exercise of let's say, own egos. It was an expression of identities, of knowledge, and of awareness into design. And we cannot talk about sustainability if we don't start from this, from something that has a real let's say, knowledge behind, and is taking into consideration what we have learned in the past, in order to move forward and not doing steps back. So that's.
I think that now we are understand that structure exists. So why I say that? Because when we have to renovate a building, we think about skin, we think about layout, we think about external parts or inside, and then we discover that we have structure. So in my opinion, structure will be the best if we can delete it. No, sorry, I'm joke. It's not real. It's a joke. No, I think that in structure we can we can apply something to develop the age of the building, if we want it. If we want it, if we want to maintain the value of the building, we have to rethink the structure and rethink the maintenance of structure. And this is a new chapter of renovation of building, for sure. Thank you for the question.